Sunday, November 29th, 2026, and we are back with the Sacramento Athletics rebuild. Obviously, finished that prior season at 67 and 95, looking to add some impact bats after our offense was ranked the worst in the American League after a disappointing season in which we were expected to win 81 games to be a 500 team, possibly compete for the last playoff spot. Didn't happen. So I've made some moves here. Um, Let me see. I want to start in October, I think. All these guys retired. This is the new feature in Out of the Park 25, where like younger, kind of, you know, quad A guys that will never really make the major leagues, but you don't want to cut them. Um, they will start to retire in their late 20s and kind of move on with their lives. So we had a number of guys do that. Um, Signed some more players out of the international pool of scouting players, and we made some moves. So Will Banfield is now on the 40-man roster, former Miami Marlins prospect, came to us in free agency, or actually on waivers we claimed him from Double A Pensacola. He won't be a major league player for us, but good depth as a defensive asset. Um, Jairo Iriarte, obviously still that 8 months. I'm just checking this up. I haven't played this game in a while. Um, Gabriel Martinez, who we acquired from Toronto for Huascar Ynoa, is now on the 40-man roster as well. I sent him to first base development in the lab to try and get him going at that position. These guys kind of just gave something away. We fired Darren Bush, who was our interim manager. Just didn't see it from him, and he actually was. I think he had one more non-guaranteed. It was something like that. David Forst is no longer with the team. Longtime assistant general manager under Billy Beane for the Athletics. Pitching coach Scott Emerson also leaves. Was not satisfied with him. Kiermaier Refsnyder retire. Matt Horvath was claimed on waivers. Chandler Simpson, Nathan Lavender, Tink Hentz, Christian Serda, Matt Horvath, like I said. Serda, ADI, looking good. Horvath, captain. I think I talked about him a little bit in the last video. Tink Hentz, good relief prospect for us. Lavender, I like as a lefty arm. And then Chandler Simpson, we just got back from the Angels as a lefty bat at second base, most likely. DFA'd a few guys. Noah Miller was also claimed on waivers, 65 range infielder at 24. Didn't really play well last season, so we'll see about him. He's also out for the next 8 weeks with a torn thumb ligament. Here are the extensions we made. Newcomb's back. Boyle, Clevenger, Clark, Mervis, Vargas. Well, Mervis isn't back. I'll get into that in a minute. Anybody else here? Okay, so now getting into some of the trades. We traded Jesus Rivera, who is an 18-year-old outfield prospect. Had already gotten to A-ball. Didn't really play well there this season. I see him as an average outfielder. Obviously, if this all comes together, he's a pretty decent player. However, I just don't see it occurring at 18. So I was willing to make the bet that he would never be better than Chase Davis, who we've acquired from the Washington Nationals. Former first-round pick by the Arizona Cardinals, traded to the Nationals for Cade Cavalli. And Davis, in his rookie season with Washington, was pretty decent with the bat, 1.4 WAR. Good right fielder. You can see his arm is high. 1.4 WAR is good enough for us, I think. And he's a lefty. I couldn't pass up an opportunity to Jesus Rivera is a different kind of player than Davis is, but they are both corner outfielders, and Davis has already realized the potential that Rivera may, so I felt like it was a better deal to get Davis. The other trade we made was acquiring Robert Moore, who is, I believe, Dayton Moore's son, former general manager of the Kansas City Royals. His infield range was higher um, when I had traded for him. Now that it's 60, he's definitely more of a second baseman. 60 contacts, 65 avoid Ks, 65 gap power is good. What's not good is that he was like the worst player in baseball, the least valuable player in baseball last season with -2 WAR. He was basically like the inverse of an average starter was his production. He just was bad at shortstop. They played him there the whole year for some reason. He wasn't good there, and he wasn't good with the bat, so he was awful. We got him, and Philadelphia is still kind of holding him in high regard just because of what he could be. Also a switch hitter. We traded Brian Buelvis, Joe Lampe, and the two of these guys I do like, but we had some outfield glut of depth, and I needed to make some moves so that everyone could get playing time. The guys in the minor leagues could come up, and these guys were close to being out of options. Lampe's fragile and just hasn't hit great in AAA. And then Buelvis, I actually do think he'll have a successful time with Philadelphia. Really, really good platoon bat against lefty pitching. But Robert Moore, this trade, I didn't like giving up Buelvis. I made this trade a few weeks ago, so. And then Ostray is nothing. Next trade up, I guess we should say, Scott Baker hired as pitching coach, legendary pitching ability. And he actually came from AAA as our pitching coach. We hired him away from Fresno last offseason. And then Troy Barrick, who was the Stockton Ports manager, they went 27 and 105. But I'm looking at these ratings, and he's ready to go, be a manager. Former minor league player got up to high A as a closer. So now he's with us as our manager. J.P. Sears was traded and became a free agent along with Lazaro Almaguer, who is now, after I had him in the outfield, is now being put at second base by the Rockies. I don't see this bat coming along. He had a good season in rookie ball, but we get Henry Allen, who, whatever, 60 power, lottery ticket. But Jose Pena Jr., this trade was sent to me. I wouldn't have gone out and made this trade. But J.P. Sears, I wasn't going to keep him around, and he's a free agent anyway, so I could get him back if I wanted to. Pena Jr., I think, can be fine from the bullpen. 75 grade fastball potentially. We'll see what happens. Julio Morales was signed in as our assistant GM. Nick Gordon, Brennan Bernardino, who is our all-star, Jeremy Pena, and Shea Langoliers all become free agents. Langoliers, not thinking about bringing him back. He's not really a catcher anymore with that ability. Pena, not a shortstop. Bernardino, I have better lefty options, I think, at this point. And then Nick Gordon, I would rather recreate him in the aggregate with who I've acquired, the offhand hitting second baseman. Now, here's the one that was tough to make, and it hurts. Zach Joloff, 27. I'm fine with getting rid of him. I mean, I'm rooting for him for the Cardinals, or with the Cardinals, I should say. We'll see if he can finally put it together because he couldn't do it with us. But Matt Mervis, sent to the St. Louis Cardinals. Mervis had been our best acquisition thus far, and had a good season as a platoon player, but that's the problem. He's just a platoon player and only playing first base and DH. I have guys that are lefties that can fit in there. I just didn't see the play time coming for him, and it's really disappointing because I was just in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I saw him hit a 2-run jack in the first inning against the St. Paul Saints. He was on the Iowa Cubs to right field, and he's my guy, but just had to make this move. For Nick Lodolo, lefty, 94, 96, 70 mile an hour fast, or 70 grade fastball, 70 grade curveball. Really a 3-WAR season for him. Got a little unlucky with the Reds. That was his second season after being sent over from Cincinnati. And I just think he can be our number one starter up until Miller and Garindo get back. I also added Paul Blackburn to the lineup, who had been with us on a minor league deal. So we bring him back. And this is what the pitching is looking like right now. Brady Basso, Maldonado, Boyle, Fleming. Like, we need probably one really high-end relief arm. I think we have the depth right now to survive, but one big guy. And then on the lineup side, or I guess I should go back to this trade and see if I did anything else. Joey Estes now up as well. No, okay. So on the lineup side, I'm trying to scout everybody, and I think we did. Um, I'd like to add a good corner outfielder, I think, but I can't. I mean, we don't have any money. We are the Oakland Athletics or Sacramento Athletics. For Atani, McMahon, Pena, Hernandez, Miller, we need a starting catcher. That's for sure, for certain. We're fine at first base. I think we're fine at second base. Third base, we could use a little help, a righty, I think. And then shortstop will have to be figured out between Moore and Miller, and then if somebody else pops up. So, corner outfielder, a solid bat in the infield that's not at first base, I think, are two priorities there, and a starting catcher. And then I would say one more starter, if not two. I don't really want to start Clevenger again. And then one more high-end reliever. These guys can all go back on the IL, so I won't have to worry about their 40-man spots. I'll probably make the majority of my moves pretty late in the offseason, like I normally do. We still obviously have the lowest budget in baseball, lowest payroll in baseball, sticking around that $122 million because we fell flat this season. In the lab, we've got Soderstrom working on plate discipline, which I think could make him into a complete hitter after a stinker of a year this past season. He's struggling with that. Henry Bolte, gap power. I just want to add another aspect to his game that can make him more valuable. He's on track with that. Darell Hernandez, I've tried to improve his defense the past 3 seasons, and he just doesn't want to do it. 50 range keeps going down, and I don't like that. He's frustrated. Jorge Macheco, I'd like to increase velocity for him. I don't know why I chose this, but he's at 95, 97 already. He could be a starter. Who knows why I did that? Manuel Pena, improve plate discipline. That's probably not going to happen. And Grady Emerson, I wanted to improve his two-strike approach, just to make sure that this avoid Ks can come up along with the gap power and the power, because I feel like whenever I see this kind of profile, the avoid Ks struggles to improve. And he's our number 1 prospect, number 18 prospect in baseball. That is the sit rep of the team right now. We've added 2 captains in Miller and Moore. I think I do have some players that I've looked at. Yes. So, Freddie Fermin, Josh Smith, Santiago Espinal, Trevor Hinkle. I don't know why. What? Whatever. Matt Thaiss. Is that how you say it? I don't even really want him because he can't catch. I think I just wanted him on a minor league deal. That's the catcher I was going after. Jonah Heim, we might just bring back on the cheapest deal possible and have him be platooning with Daniel Suzak. And then Sadayuki Takashima. Just an interesting international bat. Kind of have a lot of this guy already with Brock Jones and Henry Bolte, but we'll see what he can do if we end up bringing him in. We probably will. We've had good success with the international free agents. And then there are some other guys, Lupe Aceves, who I've added to the scouting report. He looks good. Joe Jimenez, for one of those top-end relievers. Justin Martinez, one of those guys as well, even with this 30 control. I mean, he can throw the baseball. That's for sure. And then I think I do have a number of players added to my short list that I've looked at. Batters, I really don't have that many. Vaughn, Varsho, or I guess it's Walker, Stevenson, Severino. Or no, I pressed the wrong arrow button. Nick Gordon, Trent Grisham, Jeremy Pena, Dalton Varsho, Andrew Vaughn. and I think I'll sign Heim. So those are the batters I'm looking at. Pitchers, starters, all these guys, and then relievers, these four guys, because I think relievers are generally priced too high, but these guys all have really good strikeout stuff. So that's the situation for the team. We got $20 million to spend. How do we spend it? We'll find out. And I'll get you back next opening day. Thanks for continuing to support the channel. And I will see you soon.